Hey, what's up? It's UV here, and let's continue our series of From fastapi to Generative AI. This is part 3. Part 3, we will just be dealing with one simple thing. Really one simple thing. To search our vector database using the Python SDK. Right? Previously, as you remember, in part 2, we have done an important job. So we created a vector table with embeddings. We have our business table, we have our content table, and then we embed everything in content table. So we got our vector table. And if you have worked with SQL or SQL Alchemy or Django, you will know actually working with tables, you don't really need any knowledge of SQL. The SQL knowledge helps you. It's not necessary, right? And in our AI case, it's actually exactly the same, right? You don't need to write a single line of SQL statement to do your search. Okay, and then let's jump right into it. So let's explore a little bit how we use the Python SDK to do the search. So first of all, there's a new library here. So timescale vector. So you just install this timescale vector, and because we will use it as our search client, and of course we load our environment variables. Before you do the search, you need a few things set up. So let's do that. The first step is that you still need your large language model providers to not answering the question, but to generate embeddings. Okay, so here we use OpenAI, and we generate an OpenAI client. We can run it. OpenAI is not defined, of course. We should just import all our things. We generate an OpenAI, and then we define our embedding models. Okay, this is the embedding model, not the answering model. Okay, there's a difference. We use a small model, embedding model, and the second step we need to create our timescale database client. So this is actually a database client, similar to here. So here, when we work with SQL Alchemy, you also need some engine. You also need session maker, and this is actually database client that you need to interact with your database, right? So the principle is the same. And here we define our vector database client. You put in your service URL, which is our vector database URL. And the target table is cuisine vector, is this one, and some other parameters. Then step 3, we can try some query. So for example, here we have some, let's have a look. So here we have some mapo tofu, and we want to ask, we want to search this mapo tofu, right? So the user query will be what's a mapo tofu, and we use the large language model OpenAI client to generate our embeddings. So the OpenAI client will generate an object called embedding response object. So let's have a look. So if we run that, so if we have a look at that, so this is a embedding response object or instance, which has the data of embeddings, and we can have a close look at it. So all the embedding is just a list of number, right? Then with the embedding, we can do the search now. So we simply just call this client, and we call search. It's as easy as that. And this search will take our embedded query, and you can also put in some filters we will cover later. So the most basic two arguments are embedded query and the limit. So here we set our limit to 2 just to see how the similarity score differs. Now we run that. The client is not defined. We should actually run this, and let's try this again. We have our results, and we can format the results better. Let's have a look. We can just do a little bit of tweaking of the data processing, and we can format the results. And this results is, we could print this print formatted results. Let's see something. Just print results one by one. Right, this is the content. Yes, thank you, circle, a cursor, and let's just print it nicely. Right, the first results is Mapo Tofu. This is what we want, and why it is listed first, because the similarity score is much lower, 0.4, which is closer to our user query. Right, so this is the results, and let's put it together, or everything together. You create your clients, you define your everything here, you print the things, and you can just test it with a single script. And if we change it to Kung Pao chicken, and we expect this Kung Pao chicken results will be the first one listed here, and let's see whether we get this. Cool. So Kung Pao chicken is the first one, results 1, similarities 0.45 Kung Pao chicken, and the second will be Peking duck, which is not that similar to chicken, right? And it returns everything, the description, which is the nonsense text here. Okay, and this is all for the search, and I hope it's very easy for you. It is very easy, right? And in the next video, part 4, we will just finish the series with the answering part, with all the prompt, and use the OpenAI client to answer our questions, generate a good answer for us. See you in the next video.